It was a hot summer. I was making my way through the dark, suffocating forest toward an abandoned house I had heard about from some guys at a bar. They told strange stories. Some laughed, others paled at the mention of the place. But such tales didn't scare me. I'm an antiques dealer. I've never been particularly fond of old junk, but it brings good money, and that's what matters most after all. Finally, covered in cobwebs, scratched by branches, and with aching legs, I emerged into a clearing. There it was, the very house, grim, crooked, almost watching. There were many rumours about it, that it was haunted, that monsters lived inside. One especially drunk guy even insisted that wild boars inhabited the basement. I laughed, but the people at the bar clearly avoided the topic. Their faces turned to stone, their eyes empty. No one dared accompany me. They just pointed me in the direction. I had to find it myself. But I knew, when a place is surrounded by scary legends, it usually means there's something valuable hidden inside. Superstitions are the best guard dogs for antiques. I approached the porch, knocked, just in case, loudly shouted that I was a lost traveller looking for water. No response. The doorknob gave way easily. The door opened without even a creak. That immediately made me uneasy. Inside there was no dust. Everything looked maintained, as if someone was cleaning here. But the bar folks had sworn no one had approached this house for 30 years. The last who dared was the carpenter's son, a young, towering guy with bodybuilder's arms. He disappeared, was never seen again. No one had the courage to enter after him. I inspected room after room. Everything inside was strangely untouched. I gathered 3 bags of antiques, porcelain, old clocks, bronze figurines, some jewellery. Exactly what I came for. But the longer I stayed, the stronger the feeling that I was being watched, especially when I passed by the kitchen. There was a painting on the wall, nothing special, a bearded man in rags holding an axe, probably an ancestor. Strange choice of decor for a kitchen, but people have odd tastes. By the time I finished, the sun had set. I had no choice but to spend the night. Trekking through the forest in the dark would have been pure stupidity. I settled into a chair in the living room facing the kitchen, opened a bottle of water, and tried to relax. That's when things got strange. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw movement in the kitchen. I quickly shone my flashlight. Nothing. But something felt off. I pointed the beam at the painting. The man was sitting, axe resting against the chair, but I swear, he had been standing holding the axe. I remembered it clearly. I moved closer, inspected the painting. Everything seemed normal. I convinced myself it was just my imagination. I sat at the table planning to nap a bit. I quickly fell asleep. The dream was vivid, almost real. The man from the painting stood next to me. He said he was trapped inside, that he had been stuck for 30 years. The man said he was the blacksmith's son. He begged for help. He said, "Just touch the painting and I'll be free." He was friendly, calm, even kind. He told me about his life. It felt so real that I woke up drenched in cold sweat. I immediately looked at the painting. The man still sat on the chair, but the sensations from the dream were too vivid to dismiss. I approached. There was nothing special about the painting. No jewels, no hidden symbols, just an ordinary portrait. I reached out and touched the man's chest. There was a loud pop. A flash of bright light blinded me. I screamed and staggered back, tripping over a chair and crashing to the floor. When my vision returned, I found myself outside. It was almost dawn. I stood up, bewildered, and headed back to retrieve my bags. But when I entered from one side, I instantly exited from the other, again and again. I couldn't get back inside. My knees buckled when I saw the axe lying by the chair outside. I screamed. Since that day, the antiques dealer was never seen again. And the painting inside that old house had changed. Now it showed a man in a tuxedo, his face twisted in silent horror, as if he wanted to scream, but couldn't.